I think that's what we keep coming back to in wellness is that if we just, there's these simple things that the body needs
Yeah.
and it can, we have unlimited healing ability inside. It really self-maintains really well. It just needs these simple things. However, people forget the most fundamental, the most simple is light, but
Yeah.
not all light, not blue light from the screens. It's really what we're getting from the healing complement of the sun, the near infrared light.
Before we proceed on what you just said, maybe I don't know how well versed you are with methylene blue. Like I use methylene, you can't see it. I use methylene blue eye drops, and I actually take methylene blue. And what I understand, it makes you, it's photobiodynamic. It actually enhances the absorption of light. Therefore, it has a cascade of benefits that you're already getting from light. It just amplifies them. Do you know anything about
Yeah,
methylene?
yeah, I'm absolutely familiar with it. We actually offer Dr. Laurence's
Yes.
Lumitol Blue product. There's the oral, and then there are the
Yeah.
drops for the eyes. So yeah, it's a photodynamic compound. So when the methylene blue is absorbed into the cells and it starts working and going inside the mitochondria, if then you get near infrared light stimulus, so you combine the two together, it fully activates and upregulates mitochondrial function. So you get cognitive benefits from that.
Right.
You get
Antioxidant benefits.
yeah, you get so many benefits. So it's like the two are helping each other work better. So it's an amazing stack to do with sunlight, as you mentioned, but also with near infrared light in a SaunaSpace sauna.
Right. I have noticed that, and it supports the electron transport chain, so you get more mitochondrial production.
More, yeah, more your energy production is more efficient, and you
Yeah.
feel that. You just feel more in the zone.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Aside from being an antimicrobial, again, it has so many different benefits, but
Yeah.
that's how I found out about it. I was like, let me try his methylene blue drops. So I don't do this middle of the day. I do it when the sun, first hour of the sun, put
Hmm.
on the drops, look right into the sun, and I feel like my eyes are like, I don't know, I just feel them a lot more bright. I don't
Yeah,
get so
so a lot of our
throughout the day.
customers and I myself, we use that before we, right when I get in the sauna. It's right there, and then you have that session, and yeah, you get that sort of benefit to it's almost like a mood benefit you get too when you put it right in your eyes.
So another detail to talk about, I understand that near infrared light penetrates tissues up to, I believe it's like 2 inches or something. And what I understand, by penetrating the tissues that deep, or whatever number you're going to give us, you get better vasodilation, so more oxygen production, better blood flow. It reduces inflammation. It reduces, pain at the joint level. So anything about that? Yeah, the detoxification effects to the liver or kidneys if you're like having the light hit your back. Which, by the way, guys, full disclosure, we have his lights, but we actually made a modified one, Brian. We have 8 lights an hour. And that's how, instead of going to regular sauna, we use these 8 lights. We made a little sauna, and within minutes, 2-3 minutes, you're profusely sweating because
Oh yeah,
you're heating up the tissues from the inside out. That's what I
yeah.
understand.
I have to rotisserie chicken. I have to, I have to spin around
Yeah.
because it's super intense. But it feels so great to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess what I would say about that is to explain, like, why does near infrared light heat you radiantly, and how is that different than a regular sauna? That's using the air to heat you up.
Mhm.
And the science behind that is here in what's called the water absorption of infrared light. So water absorbs light, and we're mostly water in our bodies. We're over like 70%, even like
Right.
volume by weight, but volumetrically, we're like over 99% water.
Yeah.
So water is this everywhere in the body, and it blocks light basically from getting deeply into the body. But it doesn't block near infrared light very well. So at the beginning of this graph, you can see that water doesn't strongly absorb near infrared. So you can see
Wait, I don't.
tissue
We don't see your
penetration.
graph. We don't see your graph.
We
My,
see a SaunaSpace lifestyle article.
yeah.
Oh, well, I'm not sharing the right one. Let me
Thank you for
try to
that. I was like,
share.
wait, hold on. Am I looking at the right?
That's not
Preview.
the
Here we
right
go.
one.
Here
I
we
don't want to
go.
cut you off.
Yeah, I apologize for that.
No,
Can you
no
see now?
problem. No problem.
There you go. Yeah.
Okay, what is this? What are we looking at?
Yeah, so we're looking at how water absorbs light. It doesn't absorb light the same the different wavelengths are absorbed differently. So at the beginning of this graph, we see near infrared not being well absorbed by water. But as we proceed into mid infrared and white here, and then we get into the pink far infrared, we see that all the white is 100% absorbed by the water. So you see on the left, the y-axis is tissue penetration.
Wow, look at that.
So your near infrared light here in the beginning is the only light that's capable of going into the muscles and deep tissues, including the brain. Only near infrared light penetrates bone tissue. So this is why and how near infrared light uniquely heats the body radiantly from the inside out. If we're looking at a traditional sauna or a far infrared sauna, because the tissue penetration of the light is very shallow, you're having to heat up the air a lot and using the air to heat the body. That's why in traditional and far infrared saunas, you preheat the sauna for an hour and you have to stay in there in an hour. And
Right.
that's because we're trying to achieve the same outcome in all sauna sessions. And that's a really important point. It doesn't matter how hot the air is. It doesn't matter. You can even like heat your bathtub up and get in there. All that matters is the physiological outcome in the body. And so in any sauna session, if we're looking at the longevity studies and the dimension reduction studies and all the amazing benefits of sauna, we see that we need to raise core temperature 3 degrees Fahrenheit and sweat out 1 pound of water. And that is the only outcome that matters. And the question is, how do we do that? If we use near infrared light, it's super fast. And like you said, it's so fast that with our sauna, with an incandescent bulb sauna, we recommend you rotate every few minutes, like a quarter turn, and then you evenly heat the tissue. You heat it up really fast. You
I
have
mean,
this
I
fast.
have to spin every minute because I mean, and we'll talk about how far you should like stand in front of it, but I actually have to like every minute switch because the light is so intense. I mean, I'm sweating crazy, but it's more about the intensity of the heat, the closer that you come to the light.
That's just a wuss. I do 5 minutes, 5 minutes, 5 minutes, 5 minutes, 20 minutes.
Yeah,
And
well,
of course.
definitely some people like yourselves who can handle the more stimulating effects of like 8 bulbs, 7 bulbs. Like that's amazing. That's what I do at home. I have a 7 bulb system, what we call our super sauna. That's a 4 panel and a 3 panel together.
Yeah.
But that's not for most people. Most people are totally fine with our standard setup. It's 4 bulbs, and it really takes quite a time of acclimation and so forth to get to this point where you can take more.
Yeah,
But
that's
in any case, it's very individual. Some
Yeah.
people who have body temperature regulation issues and neuropathy type stuff, they're going to go slow and maybe use 5 or 10 minutes in the beginning and sort of work their way up. That's why our light panels feature multiple switches, so you can kind of build yourself up to more and more bulbs over
And
time. But
how far should you be like
wait,
when you're
before we go into those details of like how far and how long to use it, based on that graph that you just showed, it sounds like for post-workout soreness and physical recovery, it's phenomenal to get red light.
yeah, what they call DOMS. So when you get your muscles hurt after you work out or
Right.
do some lifting, yeah, you can really improve the recovery of that with light therapy, with near infrared light therapy. Sauna also, the heat effect of what we do also has benefit. When you do sauna after a workout, you help the body metabolize the lactic acid.
Right.
So it's really this unique approach we have of stacking the light and heat therapy together are uniquely beneficial, yeah, for workout recovery.
So correct us if I'm wrong. I mean, what I've looked at the science behind it, and one thing that I do like is as we age and our skin sags, our cells start to become decrepit and collapse within our cells. And heat therapy and light therapy helps to maintain the integrity, the three-dimensional sphere integrity of the cell, so proteins can properly fold. I mean, we have hundreds of thousands of protein functions. So it helps to have better protein production within the cell. And it's actually one of the hallmarks of aging, loss of proteostasis, right? And then everything from, as we said, detoxification, it relieves pain at the muscle and joints, boosts your immune system, dopamine, it's what I've seen it boost as well. It improves the skin collagen production. That's more on the red light spectrum part, right?
Right.
It stimulates your metabolic rate because you're getting it hitting your intestines. So light therapy is absorbed and it just helps all those compounds that we don't even know that we're still studying are helping metabolize food even better. Is pretty much on point there, or is there anything else?
Yeah, that's really a fundamental effect of the heat shock protein. That's the
Heat shock
mechanism
proteins.
of sauna therapy. So most people maybe understand now sauna is great for detox, but that's that second thing that heat therapy is doing. It's the heat shock proteins are helping cell detox, and they're refolding misfolded proteins and moving them around. So they're reoptimizing protein function. And that's in every cell of the body. So there's a cellular rejuvenation effect too to sauna, to heat therapy. It's not just detox.
Right. So before now, we'll get into the practical uses of the light and stuff. But Carlos and I, and maybe correct us, what we've been doing is 20 minutes of the red light. Because I've seen the science of just sauna in general. You have to be between 160 and 180 degrees for 19 minutes to get all the medicinal benefits. I know this works a little different, but since I'm not sure of how much heat I'm getting with this light, we do 20 minutes and then we jump into the cold plunge and get all the cold shock proteins, not only the heat shock protein. So we go from one spectrum to the other spectrum, right? Do you recommend that? Is there added
Yeah,
benefits?
yeah, that's a great combination to stack together. There's definitely benefits to combining the two. I would just comment on what you just said about the science behind sauna. The science behind sauna is to sweat out 1 pound of water and raise core temperature 3 degrees. If you're using traditional sauna, you need the air to be really hot, like 170
Right,
degrees, because it's heating you from the outside in.
right.
With our sauna, it's radiant, penetrating inside to out heat. But either way, if you want to know that you've had a good sauna session, you can actually weigh yourself on a scale before and after. And what you
Oh
sweat
wow.
out, that water loss is your 1 pound of water that you lost. That's the goal. And then you can also use an instant read thermometer to kind of gauge, like, what does 3 degree temperature increase feel like? How much sweat and what's going on. So
Yeah.
using a thermometer and a scale are two easy ways to gauge, have I had a good sauna session, regardless of the technology you use.
So you could use one of those, like you could step out of the sauna, obviously, and you could use one of those things that they were using during the
COVID.
pandemic.
Oh
So,
yeah, I've done it. I mean, I just do it right in the sauna. Just turn around and not
so
facing the
you should
lights.
be at
And
least 101.
yeah, that's ideally
Upright.
101. Even 102 is okay.
Okay.
But so wait, with your therapy, what I'm understanding, I don't have to get into that uncomfortable state of heat,
Yeah.
yet produce the same results, if not better, by standing in front of the light. Because again, ours gets really hot, but it definitely doesn't get into the 160 and 180 degrees.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying, because it's the light that heats you. You don't need the air to be super hot. It's
Interesting.
you do get those outcomes are the easiest to measure. In any sauna session, you're also subjectively going for a little bit of what's called subjective exhaustion. You get a little bit uncomfortable. That's when
Yeah.
you get a lot of dynorphin production, and that leads to that big endorphin production after the sauna session. But
And the
yeah,
heat shock proteins.
yeah, and it's not sauna doesn't have to be uncomfortable. With our sauna, I think that the light therapy component is a big part of what makes it really enjoyable. You get out and you're more zen. The nervous system is super relaxed. It's not so stressful inducing. It's very
Yeah.
much the opposite.
That's so interesting. All right, so that's amazing. I'm getting the same benefits
Those are,
without
those are
having to
the,
get so uncomfortable.
those are the two factors: 1 pound of water loss and 3 degrees. Love it.
Yep. Yep.
So
When you increase core temperature 3 degrees by a couple of minutes, you've done that to every cell. And that's when you've had a sustained heat shock protein response. It only
Right.
takes that. So it's pretty easy to anyone can do that at home and know that they've had a good sauna session.
So, so as long as you reach that, whatever it takes you to reach that, that's like the session that you should have. So some people can reach it faster than others.
Yeah, and even you on a day, if you're dehydrated, it'll take you longer to sweat, or you had a drink the night before, didn't sleep well. Like each person, it'll vary a little bit. So yeah, but the outcome is the same. It's the response in the body, not the temperature of the air that matters.
Interesting.
right. So in other words, because we're big on, you need hormetic stress. You need to challenge the body in order to get benefits. In this case, we're causing hormetic stress, but in a way that's really not uncomfortable. It's truly a biohack where you are getting that hormetic stress, but it's from the inside out, so you don't feel, like the temperature when you're inside a sauna. But again, so there's no determining time. It's more about the temperature with your light, or is this just for regular sauna?
It's really those two outcomes. In terms of practical timing, with our 4 bulbs, it's usually 25 to 35 minutes. With a 7 or an 8 bulb system, it's probably only 15 minutes, max 20. So if you're getting to 20, you're on the upper end there. You don't need any more time than that.
By the way, you should make the Bertinati. You should make the Bertinati custom panel. It should be 12 of them, so it blasts us. Which, by the way, I think it's important, Carlos. You'll ask your question right now. I just want to make sure we're clear that the way we built it is to hit from the neck down, to not hit the face. Maybe you can talk about, I don't know, is it bad for it to, because I feel like it's penetrating the cranial aspect of the head, and if it gets into your brain, I don't know if that's good or bad.
Yeah, that's a good question. So with our sauna design, the top bulb is aligned with the chest, not with the head. And the issue becomes not overheating the head, and because the skull doesn't really expand, but you can, in the sauna, you're getting so much heat into your body that it's really balancing things out. If you just took one bulb and only focused it on your head, it would be a lot of intense heat to your head and not to the rest of the body. But when you heat up the whole body, like you mentioned, the blood circulation
you get the
is
effect.
increased. The body's cooling system, it's regulating itself a lot better. So it's actually safe to get exposure to the head as long as it's like measured and careful. And so we have those recommendations, in our product manual.
When you're saying measured, give us a time, like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, because remember, I have it on until we spoke. I had it hitting my face. Now I have it just hitting my body.
Yeah, with the portable light, which we call the glow, if you're using that for targeted therapy for the head, for a head issue, a neck issue, a throat issue, it's only recommended to use it 10 minutes per hour. So we're going to be real careful with that, 10 minutes per hour. But if it's on my desk and it's just kind of pointed up in the area, optimizing the light, and it's not directed at me full on, I can leave it on all day.